Going live. Exactly.
Heidi,
Thank you, Heidi.
No stopping it.
Exactly. Welcome back to Senate Economic Development, Housing and General Affairs. We are now pivoting to the Canada resolution, the Canada-Vermont resolution, which was brought into this committee, referred to this committee, and because we are economic development and because the huge impact both the rhetoric and the tariffs are having on our economy, this is our response to that. And I think we have worked really hard to thread the needle, and I feel that we're getting there. So, Rick, if you'd be kind enough to share your screen, you have a draft, the most recent draft in front of you, and I think we are slowly getting there. And I would remind us that the new title will be at the end. So, I mean, okay, if you could begin with really actually beginning at the end,
yes.
With what the new title is.
Rick Segal, Office of Legislative Counsel. We're looking at Senate Resolution 11, draft 4.1. Bringing in my colleague Michael Chernick here. We'll start with the very bottom with the title. So if you want to go down to page 3. Senate on line 16 on to 17. Senate resolution honoring the historic, integrated, and productive relations on the part of both the United States and the state of Vermont with Canada and the province of Quebec, urging that Congress reassert its role in the crafting of international trade policy, including the imposition of tariffs, and urging that President Trump remove all tariffs he's imposed on Canada since January 2025, including those outside the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA.
Okay, and then we go to the beginning, which is the beginning on line 11.
Yeah. So yeah, the first whereas. Since draft 3.1, there were no changes to page 1 of the whereases. These are all, we can read through them again.
But this is all new to the committee as a whole.
Sure.
So let's just go through this draft that we have.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll let Michael take over on the first whereas.
Okay, the first, do you want me to go all the way back to the beginning on page 1 or the first one that we
No,
changed?
I just want to start with the first whereas that's here, because we went to the title, we just looked at the new title.
Okay,
which is
and we're going
important
right
for us
back
to
to the
see.
beginning. Very well. And for the record, Michael Chernick, Legislative Counsel, and it begins, whereas the United States and Canada have been military and diplomatic allies and economic partners, even through episodes of commercial disagreement since Canadian Confederation in 1867. No change from what you had earlier. Whereas perhaps no American state has a closer and more active two-way relationship with our northern neighbor than the state of Vermont, no change. Oh, okay. Whereas these ties entail cultural, economic, familial.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not gonna die on this hill, but I think we have some fact-based ways of saying that we have a very strong relationship with them. I think they're our second we're their second biggest trading partner.
We're coming to that in the next page.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know if we should be more factual then.
It's there, the whole next page is facts.
Okay, great.
Okay. We're getting there.
We're getting there. We're, okay, now we're down to whereas the penultimate clause on page 1, whereas these ties entail cultural, economic, familial, and personal relationships. And the last clause on page 1, whereas many Vermonters have enjoyed seamless travel in Canada as much as Canadians have enjoyed adventures in Vermont. And we changed that to past tense in the working group during the week, to present tense. What?
Adventures?
That was Senator Chittin's word.
I'm not gonna die on that.
I don't know. It doesn't feel worthy of a formal diplomatic resolution. I don't know. Adventures? Like
Adventures instead of adventures.
Trips.
It's the same.
Travel.
I think,
Enjoyed the same.
what?
Have enjoyed the same.
Enjoyed the same.
Yes, that's fine.
All right, enjoy the same.
Enjoyed the same.
have enjoyed mutual, like could we just
Seamless travel and enjoyed the same. So basically,
Have enjoyed their time in Vermont. Have enjoyed their skiing and their visiting.
Their time, do you want me to say their time?
I like the same.
The same.
well what I guess I'm just saying we could say having many Vermonters and Canadians have enjoyed mutually seamless
Yes,
travel.
that might be easier.
All right,
yeah.
many Vermonters and Canadians, okay, hold
I don't know
on.
where my glasses are right now.
Hey, you know what? I think this is what this is for. This is good. I think that's fair, that they both enjoyed the same thing,
Have
which is seamless
enjoyed
travel and
mutually seamless travel.
good food and adventures.
Wait a minute.
Nice, they are nicer. I'm just gonna say they are nicer.
Don't say that. Seamless travel when I spent an hour and 5 minutes in line last.
But you
Sunday.
spent that in line to come back to the US.
Come back to
He
the
did.
US, yeah.
He did.
So
Okay,
mutually
top.
seamless travel to each jurisdiction,
Oh, I wouldn't use jurisdiction,
or just mutually seamless travel and leave
yes,
it at
I
that.
would just do that.
Okay,
Whereas many Vermonters and Canadians have enjoyed mutually seamless travel.
yeah, okay.
Between,
Yeah, but
Oh,
I think you do need
we do need
between
something there.
So between
our
Between the
countries.
two,
between our countries?
Yes, I don't think jurisdictions is such a word.
All right, I
Such a
made
le-
that.
such a legal
we
word.
noted that.
Such-
Let's go to page 2. Whereas in recent years, Vermont state officials repeatedly traveled to Montreal on trade missions and it strived to enhance Vermont-Quebec trade ties. And whereas the importance of this relationship is epitomized in the Agency of Commerce and Community Development's maintenance of the Trade Office in Canada to work continuously with federal, provincial, and local officials in the private sector to maximize opportunities for a vibrant two-way trading relationship between Vermont and our northern neighbor. And whereas on the economic front, for 2023, the Canadian consulate in Boston reported that Vermont exported $680 million in goods and $165 million in services to Canada. And that same year, Vermont imported $2.6 billion in goods from Canada, and Canadian investments in the state supported over 17,000 Vermont jobs. And whereas according to the public, and this we did change during the week, whereas according to the Department of Public Service, Vermont sources a significant amount of its commercial and residential energy from Canada. And whereas the current USMCA is broadly drafted, covering many aspects of the North American continental economic relationship, and it seeks to maximize the duty-free trading relationship between the United States and Canada. And now into the resolves.
Is USMCA defined anywhere?
it is later in the, actually it's in the title.
In the title, it's Feren's right in
It'll be
the
in
title.
it'll be in
It's
the-
here in the title.
Yeah.
It's actually.
It's on the
Yeah,
very last page of the,
yeah, it's right there at the very end of on the
Oh,
left
there.
page. It's definitely there, yeah.
which will be.
Okay.
Which is why I'm not bragging, because, okay. That the Senate I'm now on the top of page 3, that the Senate of the State of Vermont honors the historic, integrated, and productive relations. That's new language that the subcommittee worked on during the week, on the part of both the United States and the state of Vermont with Canada and the province of Quebec. Whereas the Senate of the State of Vermont, in order to preserve a robust and interdependent economy, that's
Isn't this
also.
resolved?
Yes.
Yeah, resolved that the Senate of the State of Vermont, that's the new language that
Yeah,
in order to preserve a robust and interdependent economy, urges President Trump to remove all tariffs against imports from Canada that were not in effect on January 20, 2025, including those outside the provisions of the USMCA. And be it further resolved that the Senate of the State of Vermont urges the U.S. Congress to reassert the legislative branch's role in the crafting of international trade policy, including the imposition of tariffs. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be directed to send a copy of this resolution to President Donald J. Trump, Governor Philip B. Scott, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, Quebec Premier Francois Legault, and the Vermont Congressional Delegation. And that after passage of the title, the resolution be amended to read with the title that we just went over before, Senate Resolution honoring the historic, integrated, and productive relations on the part of both the United States and the state of Vermont with Canada and the province of Quebec, urging that Congress reassert its role in the crafting of international trade policy, including the imposition of tariffs, and urging that President Trump remove all tariffs he has imposed on Canada since January 2025, including those outside the United States, Mexico, Canada.
Just,
With the USMCA, and remember, that's gonna be right on top.
so just a curiosity question, on page 3,
Sure.
line 15, congressional, is congressional right, or is it federal delegation, Vermont federal delegation?
We normally use congressional resolutions, I have them for the last.
And does that mean all 3?
I mean, all three. That's what the term I've been using for 30 years, for everything.
okay.
Got a question now, it's just lost.
Thomas, you've been,
Looks good.
You were here through the whole Senator.
First question, on page 3,
Yeah,
line 7. You talk about the tariffs on imports. Presumably there were some in effect. What were they? Do you know?
well, those,
Yeah.
the tariffs would have been starting those outside the USMCA, and apparently,
Yeah, I can tell you
well,
specific.
also there, of course, now there are the tariffs on energy, the 10% on energy, the 25%
No, this is
on
before.
aluminum, 25% on
The question is
aluminum.
before.
Yeah, not in effect on January 20.
David
Those
has the
outside
answer.
the USMCA.
David has the answer.
Oh,
It's dairy, poultry, eggs, grain, and it ranges from 200 to 300% that the Canadians
Impose on us.
impose on us.
And so there's the question is they have a tariff that prohibits the import of certain of our agricultural products produced by our farmers, and we don't have a counter tariff
Only on dairy products.
on dairy
Yeah.
only, but not on the other
And
items.
it's not
Yeah.
a tariff, it's a restriction on importation.
right, and this resolution only addresses those imposed since January 20.
Well, that would be one question that, has the appearance on the surface, if somebody would pick this apart, of being unfair to us. The second thing goes to the discussion of the numbers. It's just striking to me that Vermont imports 680 million in goods to Canada as a whole. That's what Vermont exports.
Yeah,
Vermont imports 2.6 billion in goods from Canada. It seems very one-sided, doesn't it?
We import 1.6 billion.
Two.
Vermont imports
Yeah.
2.6 billion in goods from Canada.
I can double check that with Tim again.
And then
Are we
Vermont
citing
only
it?
exports
Yeah, I have-
680 million.
Okay.
So it's an overwhelming amount that we bring in versus what we send
The
out.
Canadian.
Oops, that's.
And it doesn't say the United States import 2.6 billion, it says Vermont
That
imports.
may be, hold on, it's been fact checking 3 times, but I can look again.
Yeah, it
Oh,
just looks like-
Canadian, not Quebec.
Canadian.
That makes more sense. That
All
makes
of
more
Canada,
sense.
not just Quebec.
Makes more
It's everything.
Yeah, this is good.
It's the whole country, not just Quebec.
I mean, I think fossil fuels alone is worth billions. So,
Yes.
yeah,
If you-
I
yeah.
would,
No,
I
no,
think a lot of
my
it has to do with
skepticism.
That
energy.
Vermont imports as opposed to
Yeah.
the United States imports.
right, but
I think a lot of that's
I
energy.
mean, I think in the US,
But
it's
I will
probably in the
double-
hundreds
Oh,
of
it's in the-
billions, the trillions.
much-
Well, if the
Yeah.
notion is that we have a gas pipeline that
Right.
comes to Vermont.
We also
it's
have-
in Vermont, but it then goes all over the US,
But
that
we-
would be one question.
But we also have a hydro pipeline,
yes, I was gonna say the hydro pipeline is worth
$1 billion, if not more of it, so.
that.
Well, and the reason I ask that, if nothing else, is whoever's gonna present this, that's a question that might come up.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and I think
We
it's
have
enough
to
topic,
do it.
we will flush it out. and
But I
Tim-
think the good news is putting this on the floor, if that figure is true, really shows how deep and expensive our relationship is with
Again,
US Scott.
it brings the other argument that, well, if we break this relationship, we won't be in this counterbalance, because we won't be importing all this junk, quote unquote.
Well, the
Well, it's
junk
not
is all of our
junk, it's
energy.
lumber for
I'm
housing.
saying what other people might say, I'm not saying that.
It's
I
steel
think
for
we
housing.
make junk. I
It's
mean-
steel and lumber for housing. If we're in a housing crisis, this is one of our,
Canadians don't make junk. Just wanted to say
I
that.
was gonna say, yeah.
Of course not.
Just as a nonpartisan statement for the record afterwards, I will double check with Tim on that.
Thank you.
And if it's wrong, we'll get it corrected.
David, given that fact, was there something you wanted to add?
Nope, I'm good.
So we have some changes suggested with the language on line 18 and 19.
Yeah,
And other than that, if we,
other than that, I'm going to double check on that number.
and
one more time.
so maybe we would be ready to sign off on this next week? Tuesday, maybe, or?
Sure.
I can certainly get I can have my confirmation from Tim and a correction on that 18-19 all done today and sent to your committee assistant with no problem, to Heidi with no problem. That's easy.
Do people feel comfortable then voting on this now with that change, or? Oh, okay,
It'd be 5.1.
it would be
5.1. But Senator, if I may, it's with the understanding that if I find out that number's different, that number's going to change. Or the import number.
Yeah, and, Mr. Clerk. Thank you. So, do I hear a motion to move draft 5.1 of it's SR 11?
So moved.
Thank you.
Just want to make sure there's no more
Clerk, would you
discussion. I
begin
don't
the
want
call?
to, okay, so, Senator Brock,
Yes.
Senator Chittenden,
We.
Senator Rom Hinsdale,
Yes,
Senator Weeks.
that was good
Week,
though. Appreciate that.
Oui,
Senator Clarkson.
mais bien sûr.
I was gonna say that too.
So, 500, and I would like to volunteer to report.
Ooh, David Weeks, you did such a rocking job with the Taiwanese.
En français,
We would
monsieur?
love to have.
Okay, well, you have a leg up there. I mean, I could, but you wouldn't.
Simultaneous translation.
So
Do you want to get in French?
actually, we actually have an offer, excusez-moi. We have an offer from our own Senator Martine Bulick to translate this phrase by phrase with you.
Sure.
So
So,
if you could present.
team?
Yeah. Team effort, your side of the room. Your side of the Senate chamber. It's like she's right by you. Great. Terrific. Thank you. So we'll get this updated version and
You'll
get
have
it
it
upstairs.
before the day is out, and I'm off to do that. ASAP.
Michael, thank you very much. Rick, thank you. Tim, if you're listening, thank you. Great. Thank you very much.
I'll contact Tim shortly now and get a reconfirmation on that figure.
Great. Thank you.
Are we done?
We are done because
That's what I was gonna ask.
Thank you.
you have